Hi, I'm James Pater, president of Mountain Laurel Handrails. Today we're going to be showing you a video about different deck design questions, trying to answer them for you to get you some good information as you start the deck design planning process. What makes a good deck design? When building or remodeling, there's lots of different options and choices to be made. So what are we looking for in a deck design? Is your deck going to be a small, cozy, inviting space, or are there long-range, expansive views that you want to take in? The character of the space and of the house that the deck is going on are always going to be the primary consideration when designing a deck. So what is it that goes into making a good deck? The first thing is planning. So when you're working on a project, consider hiring a design professional for some kind of input or to make the design for you. That's a great place to start to make sure that what you're going to do is going to fit in with the design of your existing house or the house that you're building. What are the different types of decks? So a deck is generally defined as a freestanding space that's open underneath. They're attached to the side of the house, or they can be completely detached from the house. So there's 5 types of decks we're going to discuss: a freestanding deck, an attached deck, a covered porch, a screened porch, and an all-season exterior room. A freestanding deck stands alone, separate from the house itself. An attached deck is attached to the side of the house, generally on at least one side, if not more than one side. A covered porch is an exterior deck which is covered with a roof. And a screened porch is the same thing, except the walls will be screened in to keep insects out. And then we also have all-season exterior rooms. These are rooms that will be heated with some kind of heat source, like a propane fireplace or wood-burning stove, so that they can be used in the winter season. Each of these different deck designs is a tool in the arsenal of the planner. The style of the deck design will determine a lot of characteristics about the design itself as it's incorporated into the building. One of the examples shown here is a covered porch with timber frame rafters and a tongue and groove ceiling. This is a great place to put Mountain Laurel handrails. What types of materials can be used for building a deck? So there's lots of different wood species that can be used for the different elements of a deck. You're generally going to want something that's rot resistant, so this is either pressure treated lumber or cedar lumber. There are other different kinds of lumbers which can be used. One of these is Ipe, which is a Brazilian hardwood that is extremely rot resistant and durable. The most commonly used lumber for deck framing is pressure treated because it's available and easy to use. The wood is treated with chemicals which are preservatives to help prevent decay and rot. You're generally not going to find any other species of lumber being used for the deck framing itself. For the trim elements like the railing and fascia, cedar is a common choice because it is also rot resistant and it's a little bit more beautiful than the pressure treated lumber. Another option is to do steel framing for the deck. This is a great choice, as you can see here. This deck is made with steel framing, and the boards, the deck boards themselves, are PVC polymer material, which is extremely decay resistant. It will not rot. And the railings that we installed here use Ipe 4x4 posts with Ipe lumber for the railings themselves and the top cap. This deck is going to be around for a long time. The decking of the deck is what you actually walk on. This is different than the framing of the deck, which is the structure that holds everything in place. As mentioned previously, there's lots of different options that you can use here. The most common one here is 5/4 inch pressure treated boards. These are boards that are about 1 inch thick and are typically about 5.5 inches wide. They're laid down on top of the framing and either screwed or nailed to hold them in place. Another option is cedar deck boards or cedar 2x6. This is a lot better of an option. Cedar is more decay resistant than the pressure treated lumber that's available on the market today. Another option in wood decking is Ipe, as previously mentioned. Ipe is a very popular choice. It's beautiful, it has an extremely incredible grain pattern, different colorations, and it is also extremely rot resistant. It's also, however, hard to work with. It is very hard, so it requires special fastening systems. Sometimes this means a groove in the side of the board or special fastening clips to hold the boards into place. Over the past 20 years, a new option has been synthetic deck boards. There are a lot of different styles of these. Some of them are pure plastic polymers. Some of them are wood that are mixed with PVC polymers and fired at a high heat to make them decay resistant. So these are some of the different options that are available for decking. This is just a small selection, and you should really explore what's available before making a selection for your own deck. What's the difference between a deck and a porch? A deck is typically left open on the top, whereas a porch is typically enclosed. So covering the deck makes it such that the deck can be used in all different seasons, especially when it's raining. There's a lot of different options here, but typically these porches are framed with a post and beam design, whether it be timber framed or lumber framed. They're made so that there'll be open spaces so that you can see out, and the open feeling of the deck is maintained. Now we have a ceiling to contend with, so a popular design here is to put tongue and groove on the underside of the ceiling framing. Or another option is to put the tongue and groove lumber on top of the framing and leave the framing exposed, resulting in an interesting pattern of rafters underneath the ceiling. How about deck stairs? The deck stairs are oftentimes the most prominent visual element. They can be either short with just a couple leading up to a covered front porch, or they can be long if the deck is on the rear of the house and you want something to go down to the backyard. During the summertime, the deck stairs are especially important because a lot of recreation is going to take place outside. So given that there's all these different factors, one of the most important thing in building and designing a deck stairs is going to be the actual topography of the house itself and how the land fits to the deck and to the house. So I hope this has been a helpful video in answering some of the common frequently asked questions about deck design and planning. As always, hit the link in the description to sign up for the email newsletter to go ahead and continue receiving some important information like this. Thanks so much.